Well, thanks for joining us this afternoon. My name is Emily Powell. I'm a Key Account Manager and Sustainability Advisor with South Pole. A little bit about South Pole. We are a climate solutions provider and one of the largest developers of carbon offset projects globally. Our team of about 800 people is dedicated to helping corporations and other organizations at every stage of their climate journey, from doing an initial greenhouse gas footprint to setting emissions reduction targets, developing a roadmap to meet those targets, procuring renewable energy and offsetting through carbon credits, and iterating that whole process. We're proud to be very active in the travel, hospitality, and aviation sectors. Here's a cross-section of some of our clients. Some of you may even be in the room. Through our work with these clients, we have become very familiar with the pressures coming at you from all directions. We understand the challenges you face developing comprehensive and long-term and robust and science-based sustainability strategies, and we're here to help. Going back to the pressure coming at you from all directions, we understand that governments around the world, your trade partners, your shareholders, your employees, and consumers are all asking for robust climate action on their behalf. With more countries ratifying the Paris Agreement, we understand that regulation relating to your carbon footprint is more likely. We know that more employees are asking you to take clear and robust stances on environmental and social issues, and that consumers are asking and demanding climate action, especially as it relates to the products and services they're purchasing from you. But developing a long-term sustainability roadmap takes a lot of time and a lot of resources. It can be a months, a years, a decades-long endeavor, and it should be, and that's really what we need to meet net zero goals as an industry. But what can you do today to evidence the fact that you are committed to positive impact globally? How can you invest in positive impact, especially in developing areas of the world that are most vulnerable to the effects of climate change? Carbon offsetting is an important part of a long-term sustainability strategy because it meets an immediate need to have a positive, material, tangible, positive impact outside of your value chain. A carbon credit, scientifically speaking, is equivalent to 1 metric ton of CO2 or other greenhouse gases that has been removed from the atmosphere and stored in a permanent solution, or avoided or reduced from a current activity somewhere in the world. Carbon credits are and should be verified against third-party global standards. The projects that are developed under South Pole are certified against ICROA-approved standards, which is the International Carbon Reduction and Offsetting Alliance. And if you'd like to dive further into the world of carbon credits and standards, I invite you to join our panel tomorrow, Offsetting, How to Get It Right here at 3:30 p.m. But carbon credits really are a tangible and immediate way to invest in positive impact throughout the world. To contextualize this a little bit more, I'd like to show you an example of one of our carbon projects in our portfolio. This is one of our favorite projects, one of our most popular projects, the Kariba Forest Protection Project in Zimbabwe. The Kariba Forest Protection Project aims to protect large swaths of vulnerable forest by connecting various national parks and game reserves. Through this project, the local economy is stimulated in ways to diversify local incomes and de-emphasize income generated from deforestation. So this means providing community members with alternative sources of income, such as through sustainable agriculture or beekeeping. And through this, we reduce environmental degradation through deforestation. This is also what's called a REDD+ project. Since its inception, the Kariba Forest Protection Project has avoided emissions to the tune of 3.5 million tons of CO2 equivalent. This is an example of a project that offers you and your partners a way to invest in immediate positive impact in regions of the world that are most vulnerable to the effects of climate change. We also know that traveler appetite for carbon offsetting is only expanding, so that carbon offsetting should be part of a long-term sustainability strategy for your organization. This survey done last year showed that more than 1/3, or 38% of Americans, would pay extra to offset their flight's CO2 emissions. And among millennials, that number rises to 48%. The majority of travelers, 83% to be exact, said that sustainable travel was somewhat or very important to them. And 7 in 10 travelers said they would pay more to lower their carbon footprint. This shows that there is a market for a channel to offset the footprint associated with a product or service. And in this case, we're talking about a trip, a car rental, a hotel stay, and any other service related to travel. But how do you do that? Let me go back for just a second. But how do you do that? How do you act on this market opportunity for carbon offsetting in an immediate and easy way that limits red tape and it increases even customer satisfaction and customer retention? One of South Pole's offerings is a digital on-demand climate action tool that can be embedded directly onto any booking website or web page and automatically and easily calculates the carbon footprint of a product or service being transacted online. This digital tool will pull information from a web page. You can see here that this user is viewing some options for flights around the world. They can see by duration, by number of stops, by price, and through the digital tool South Pole offers, the climate impact of that trip. These calculations are based on industry standard emission factors and offer a tangible, material way for customers to compare trips by their carbon impact. On the next slide, our API, this digital tool, would show the user a couple options from the South Pole Carbon Project portfolio where they can invest in a positive impact project to compensate the effect of this footprint. There's a lot of flexibility in how this digital tool can be used because it can pull information from almost any digital transaction site and calculate a footprint based on best-in-class emissions factors. Here you can see, the text is a little small, but here you can see a user's purchasing a smartphone, and through the digital tool South Pole offers, can see the calculated carbon impact of that purchase and a checkbox to invest in a positive impact project through the South Pole portfolio, like Kyriba, to compensate for that footprint. Though this shows a smartphone, you can imagine this to be a car rental or a hotel stay or a flight, any product or service that can be transacted online. We have data to show that adding this to the checkout flow for your customer actually improves satisfaction and improves retention. So this is easy, painless, and exciting, really, for your customers. Another one of our partners, XOJets, embeds this digital tool directly onto their booking page, offering their users the option to invest in positive impact while they're booking their private jet. So you can see this user is booking a jet from, I think, Jersey to Fort Lauderdale for a cool $12,000. For just $27 more, they can invest in projects through the South Pole portfolio to compensate for that footprint. And this money would be going directly to projects like Kyriba that is generating positive outcomes for economies and communities around the world today. Contiki, another one of our partners, uses the digital tool directly on an external-facing web page, offering users the option to calculate the emissions associated with the flight, going back and forth to a tour they're taking in a remote area of the world, and then offers them the option to invest in a project to compensate that footprint. So you can see this is a pair of passengers flying business class on a long-haul flight, meaning the carbon footprint is a lot larger than someone who would fly a short-haul economy flight. and the cost associated with compensating that footprint through a project like the Cook Stoves project seen here is $637. So for a fill like that, it would be a bit more expensive. The Cook Stoves project distributes more efficient and cleaner burning cook stoves to rural communities in Kenya. So not only is this having a material carbon impact, it's also reducing the effects and toxicity of cook stoves used in rural homes. Through this digital tool, like I said, you can offer an immediate positive way for your customers and partners to invest in positive impact around the world. This is really the magic of carbon offsets, and this should be included in a long-term plan to reduce and decarbonize over time. So this should be paired alongside a plan to calculate your emissions at an organizational level, decarbonize, make changes in your supply chain, your operations to reduce your footprint, and communicate your progress. And again, we know that's an iterative process, as I said before, it's expected that over time, using these various tools, we will meet net zero. We have a lot of flexibility, like I mentioned before, in how this tool is operated and implemented on a booking page. So if you'd like to brainstorm maybe how it can be used with your tools or with your partners, please come see us in the Sustainability Pavilion. Also, if you have other questions about carbon offsets or carbon standards, I would invite you to come to our panel tomorrow, the Offsetting How to Get It Right, here at 3:30 p.m. And of course, you can send me a direct email at e.powell@southpole.com. I look forward to speaking with all of you. Thank you.